Hello guys, welcome to Justino Stitches. Please, if this is your first time, don't forget to subscribe and also click the red notification bell for more latest video. Today I'm going to teach you people how to cut a long gown with princess dart buster. But first thing I'm going to do is to measure to cut out the down part of the gown before the princess dart buster. As you can see here, this is my fabric for it. I have bring out the measurement, my hip measurement, and this one is my zip allowance. My hip measurement is 20 inch. My hip measurement is 40. 40 divided by 4 will give me 10 inches. This is my 10 inches, and the remaining one is my same allowance for it. So first of all, let me start by removing this label. I don't like adding my label of the clothes on the first thing I'm going to do is to measure out my first length. That is the length that I've used to get my hip measurement. That is 10 inches. My second length is 13 inch. And my last length is 18 inches is my last length, plus I will do it 20 because of seam allowance. So the next thing I'm going to do is my waist. My waist measurement is 32 inches. 32 inches my waist measurement is 32 inch. So I will divide my 32 inch into 4 like this. 32 divided by 4, it will give me 8 1/4. I will mark it like this. I will add 2 allowance, 2.5 inch allowance. I will put that in it, so that is why I'm adding 2.5. 1 inch for the dart, the other one is for the same allowance. So my hip measurement is 40. 40 divided by 4, 1 2 will give us 10 inches. This is my hip measurement, 10 inches. I will add 2. Another thing I'm going to do is my knee round. My knee round is 35 inches. 34.5 inches, sorry, divided by 4. Will give me 8.5 and 1/4. I'll add my allowance, 2 inch for the same allowance. So I will start by joining. If you have your instrument for shaping measurements, you can also use it, but I don't have mine. That is why I'm using tape to connect my waist to the hip. I will connect this hip now to the nail and go down. So I will connect my hip to the nail and just go down. You can see it now. So after that, I will then cut. It's not a must that you will remove this thing. Some like to add it. They will use lining to do it turn up. So I will cut it out because I bring out my measurements. Remember, I'm cutting the back and the front together. Perfect. So from this back side, you know it will have slits at the back to enable the person to walk. So from here, I will measure out 18 is okay. But what are my zipper allowance? I will do it 1.5. I will make here bigger so that after joining it, it will wrap together. That is why I'm removing 1.5. This 1.5 now is for my zipper allowance. So this is all for the skirt. I will use my lining to do it turn up. The next thing I'm going to do now is cut out the upper part. That is the princess dart buster. Now I have already divided my bust into 4 and add extra 5-inch allowance for it. So the length of the upper one is 17.5. I added 1 inch for same allowance. That is, it's going to be 18 in total. The next thing I'm going to do is my shoulder to nipple. My shoulder to nipple is 10 inch. I will add half, that is 10.5 inch. So when I will sew it, I will use half to sew it. It will come down to 10. But if I do it exactly 10 inch, it will short out my measurement. That is why I always add extra half inch, so that after sewing everything, it will come back to my normal length. And my under bust is another thing I'm going to mark now. My under bust is 13. I will also add half inch into it. That is 13.5. So after that, my nipple to nipple measurement is 7.5. Look at my 7.5. I'll also add extra half inch. Whatever you are measuring, you will have to put half inch or put the allowance, so that after sewing everything, it will come out to your accurate measurement. So I have added half inch to my 7.5 inches divided by 2. I put half inch for same allowance. I will also put it the same thing here. 7.5 into 2 plus half. Go down like this. Another thing is my shoulder measurement. My shoulder measurement is 16. 16 is 8. 8 plus 1.5. Why I use 1.5 is because this person is not busty, but if it is the person that have bust, we will add 2 or 2.5 depending on the measurement. So this my shoulder, I will connect it to this my nipple point like this. If you have your instrument to join your shape, you can also make use of it. If you don't have, use your tape to trace it like this. Yes, perfect. Another thing I'm going to do, that 1.5 I have here, I'll have to put it back again here to get the other side of the rest. I'm cutting this thing together. Look at it here. So from this my under bust now, I will use 1.5 inch for the space due to the person is not busty enough. So after removing 1.5 inch from here, I will connect this thing like this to this my nipple point. Make sure you curve it very well. After joining it here, I have to join it like this, as you can see now. Make sure you curve it very well, exactly like this. The next thing I'm going to do now is, first of all, cut out the center part. After cutting it now, I will place this on top of this one. So after placing it, I will measure my waist. You can see that my allowance will still remain because I put enough inch allowance. That is why I added 5 inch to it. So my waist measurement is 32. Make sure this one is on top of this one before measuring it. My waist measurement is 9. Sorry, my waist measurement is 32. That is 8. This is 8. That 1 inch I remove because this 1.5 inch will be out. I will have to put it back after measuring my waist. My waist is 8. Look at the 8 here. So the 1.5 inch I remove, and my same allowance, that is 2. That is why you have to add extra inch. If I didn't add this extra inch, like 5 inch, assuming I add 2 inch or 2.5 inch for my sewing allowance, it will not be enough because I will remove this 1.5 now. After removing it, it will short my measurement. It will not enter that person again, so I have to remove it like this. Make sure your cloth is not shifting. So you can see it here. Very simple. Can you see? Very simple. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out the back of it. So when cutting the bag, you have to add your zipper allowance. Let me use 1 inch for it. This thing is my zipper allowance. After that, you have to add 1/2 inch in the middle. At the nipple of that front one, you will add 1/2 inch because there is no bust in the back. Bust cannot be at the back. So if you don't have this 1/2 inch and cut the back exactly like the front, it won't work like that because we have no bust at the back. So you have to put your 1/2 inch here. And now So as you can see now, this is my zipper allowance and this one is the front. So I want to cut the back now. I've placed it in order. So let's go. So now for me to cut out the armhole, I'll have to join these two together and also these two. That is like this. I will join front to front together and also join back to back together. I'll have to join, this one is the front to front together. After joining, then I will cut my armhole. Make sure all of them are together when joining it. Then bring the back to back together, so you can also join it together like you do the front one. So you can see after joining it now, this is the back together, the front together, and this one now is my bust. You can see it, I've not even finished sewing it, it's already standing. So what I'm going to do is to bring this one now together with this one and use pin to pin it so that it won't disturb me. Pin it like this now. So after everything now, my shoulder measurement, I always like the back one. After joining it, it will be on top of the front like this. That is why I will leave it, but I will trim it small. My shoulder measurement now is 8 inches. 8. I will add half for seam allowance. Then my armhole will be that 8. So I will connect it like this. So now my bust measurement is almost 9, that is 35.5. This is where you will shape your clothes. I will add 2 inch. And my waist measurement is 8, that is 32. I add my 2 inch. So this is where you will shape your clothes. Why this thing is doing like this? Because of this thing. If to say I have sewed everything well, it will balance well. You can see, assuming I didn't put that 5 inch, I won't have this enough allowance to shape everything after my cutting. I won't have enough allowance for it. So that is why we always advise to put much allowance, so that you will not have problem when sewing everything. So this one will be like this after sewing it. I have to trim the armhole. I will leave it like this. So after sewing it, when I will want to put my hand, when I want to fix the sleeve, I will trim it again. The next thing is to do now is to cut the neck. It will be round neck. So I will use 3 here. And use 5.5 here. But for the back, I will use 3. Can you see how it is? But I will not cut it now. This is it. You can see, but let me cut it now to avoid. Remember, this space that is here is for the zip allowance. I will now divided the back allowance, the back one, into 2 for the zip. So after that, you will now lose this thing because you have made use of it. Lose it. So now I have lost everything. So this is it, the back one and the front one. As you can see everything. You join this one together, it will come like this. You can see it's very simple. You can also try it on your own. So guys, this is all about cutting princess dart buster. I have shown you people how to cut the skirt. So all these things are together and it is a long gown. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also click the bell notification icon for more latest updates. See you guys next time. I'll also post the video when I'm sewing the fabric. So if you are interested, after watching this